Alright, blue-green flash. This deck felt a little bit middling when we played against it. I think this might actually be our first time playing it ourselves this season, although we did play a mono blue flash deck earlier today. Flash, for those not familiar, refers to the mechanic where you can play the creature or non-instant spell at instant speed. There's a lot of different iterations of this deck I've seen floating around. Some are more counter heavy, some are more creature heavy, some are more cantrip heavy. So this build that we're playing has Opt and Once Upon a Time in it, which I actually really like the look of playing both of these cards, because at the backbone of this deck is Nightpack Ambusher and Frilled Mystic doing the heavy lifting. So having lots of access to find our way to these two cards seems appealing. Another thing that's kind of neat here is this one's got a bunch of copies of Wildborn Preserver in it, which also seems somewhat interesting because some of our better draws that don't involve these cards always involve Cutthroat here, and this is another early 2-drop that can grow like Cutthroat. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. We aim to please here, always free timeouts. Green-red Arclight was pretty bad, but green-red Season's Growth was excellent. I think green-red Season's Growth and Sultai Oko are my two favorite picks for the day so far from the standard portion. We've not played any post-rotation Feather yet. As always, remember if there's something sweet that you'd like to see played on stream at some point that you haven't yet, you're always welcome to submit decks of your own using the form on my website. Alexander Nevermind, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub and put them towards dealer's choice. 10 out of 10. Probably going to re-add Sultai Oko with that. Not looking for a 5th land. Got one anyways. Hopefully they don't Domri us here on 3. Would be less than ideal. Feels like they have a giant pass through there with them gaining priority. That was a very good draw. I think I just let this happen and play Nightpack Ambusher, and then we untap with these and the game is over. Feels good, man. Are we done here? The reason why I didn't attack for 4 there is because I was so excited it didn't matter. See, my opponent also thinks it doesn't matter. Ooh, I like the Questing Beast in the sideboard of this deck. That's smart. I like the look of, I like a lot of the choices this specific build has made. I'm excited to see how this goes. A couple of Aether Gust in here sounds great. The rest of this seems pretty okay. Maybe I trim a Sabotage. I think I'd rather have more creatures that block. Like maybe a Spectral Sailor. That seems fine. Really enjoying the new standard content. Put these bits towards the other choice. Thank you, Dr. Jones. I'm really enjoying making the standard content. I'm super excited that even if the standard format ends up a little bit medium, we have Historic to explore. We're going to be adding some of that later this month. I'm going to make a note to add Historic to the deck submission form. Add Historic option to submission form. So if you have an idea for Historic you'd like to see added, you're welcome to submit and add that now. However, we're not going to be playing those decks probably till the end of October. We're going to play a bunch of standard while that's hot, and then once it cools off a little bit, we'll mix some variety in. Haste is like Flash, but at sorcery speed, allowing your opponents to interact. It's an interesting way to think about it. How about Mythgard submissions? I don't know how much Mythgard I'm going to be able to do on the regular. I also don't have a full collection in that game quite yet. We'll see. The Mythgard only stream we did actually had a lot more viewers than I was expecting it to have. So there's definitely a possibility that we do. We're definitely going to do some more of that once Standard cools off a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to do specifically donation decks for it. We finished in the top 1,200. Yeah, I was honestly really surprised at how good the gameplay in Mythgard is. Oh, that was wrong. Should have gotten a second green. We need double green in this deck. That's a good one for them to hit. Did they grab my second green with Robber? They did. Rude. If I thought about making my own game, this seems like a lot of effort for very little return. There's a lot of great games out there, and even good new games like Mythgard are going to struggle to gain traction. So like saturating the market more doesn't seem very appealing. Percy, I totally did. Thank you. To add Red Black Knights back to the queue sounds fantastic. That's pretty unfortunate. This is the best I've seen this card be. For sure. Actually, we just get to draw this, right? Thanks. Any thoughts on Red Black versus Mardu Knights? Yeah, the Mardu Knights feels like it's a little bit lower to the ground deck. Whereas the Red Black's a little bit more mid-rangey with like Rankle and Murderous Rider and stuff. I think I prefer Red Black overall, but if you're looking to just smork people, the Mardu deck is great. Well, that could have gone better. The old swing and a miss on 4. Yeah, this is fine, right? It's like actually pretty good with Once Upon a Time. May I take a look at Modern with Brazen Borrower, or is that happening at the end of October as well? We did a Modern deck this morning, so starting this week, we're going back to doing one Modern deck per day. My plan is to do a Modern deck to start every morning. And that I don't have any specific plans. We're just gonna work from the top of the queue down. So I have both Forest and Island here, so I'm gonna grab Forest, and then I'll fetch Island with this. Rotation's like Christmas, Alex Jet. It comes once a year, and it's a magical time. So the format's felt great, but as for is the format actually great, no one reasonable is making any judgments yet. Time will tell is the answer. Well, I just clicked through casting my Opt. I was expecting them to attack, but they also clicked through attacking, so I guess I'll take that. I played Once Upon a Time at their end step there, because if you'll notice, I played Once Upon a Time before using my fetch land, because what land I found with the Once Upon a Time could have potentially dictated what I wanted to take, what I wanted to fetch out. So, like, for example, if I Once Upon a Time found a forest, I wanted to fetch an island, but if I found an island, I wanted to fetch a forest, vice versa. Yeah, and part of that too, Alex Jett, is like, and the reason why I say I'm hesitant to like cast judgment on the format as a whole is because we don't know, like, we're still in the honeymoon phase where people are playing their bad brews. So like, while a lot of our decks feel okay, they feel okay to a degree because we're playing our mediocre decks against other mediocre decks. And until the format slims down a little bit, it's going to continue to be that way. I believe the Mythic Championship is, it's like October 18 to the 20th. Like, that'll more cement, like, what people are playing and what's good, bad, and otherwise. Once people have results from a major tournament where they can copy them down. This game feels pretty on lock here. We were on the play and had a good hand here. Yeah, the SCG team events, a little bit. So, like, team events will give you deck lists to look at, which some people will copy, but it's hard to know, like, the power level of those decks from a team event because, like, the team format, like, muddles the details, basically, is the best way to put it. It's a little unfortunate. Maybe I shouldn't have countered the Bone Crusher. Brazen Borrower only bounces opponent's stuff. Otherwise, yes, I would have bounced my own thing. Brazen Borrower is only opponent stuff. So that worked out really cleanly, right? Because now the Nissa dies. We're just like right back in the driver's seat. Yeah, rebouncing your adventures with that card would be quite crazy. Alright, I mean, like, that felt good. Winning with decks like this one always feels good, right? Like there's a reason there's a reason why people play this archetype. I don't believe the AAs are online. We did top 1,200. We were like 300-ish at the end of the season. We were live while the season rolled over. Is the goose loose? Any hopes for Izzet being good in the format? In my experience playing so far, whether or not Izzet gets to end up being good feels like it's going to largely depend on whether or not big green monster decks end up being good. The big green monster decks tend to be a real struggle for these decks in my experience. Really could use a sabotage next turn. One thing you said on pre-release day has stuck with me, which is the importance of adventure cards filling multiple spots in your curve. Yep. Yeah, Star City Games team events don't show good decks all the time. Made the finals with a deck I went 9-7 with once. That's a good Decandio. Hope life's treating you well. I shocked this in partially as a bluff for Sabotage, but also because I can theoretically once upon a time into a 1-drop here. By shocking this in to bluff a 3-mana counterspell, they might play out a weaker payoff this turn, leaving us the ability to Frilled Mystic a better payoff next turn. So hopefully there is fear in my opponent's dojo, and they don't just, like, head to the Space Jam and dunk on us. Like this. This is a great card for them to have. God bless. Your 2/2 resolves. Oh, they don't have a land. Wonderful. I'm pretty sure I just let that resolve and jam this wolf down their throat, right? Anyway, it's possible, it's probable even, that I should have taken the 3rd Frilled Mystic since I already had a Nightpack Ambusher. I'm just a sucker for a good Flash Wolf. Wolfie's home. Oh, opponent's feeling a little Sultai. This style of deck that this current opponent's playing, this is what I want Vraskas for in that Sultai Oko deck. So, like, I would want to play a bunch of games against this deck that our current opponent is playing before I decided to cut. Before I decided to cut Vraska. Like, look at their board and tell me you don't want Vraska, right? The wolf pack is here. Alright, they have 5 mana here for the first time. Bye, Felicia. No. Bad opponent. Gonna be a no for me, dog. Zero copies of Disdainful Stroke is maybe suspect out of this deck. Well, I guess Negate's pretty good. Negate covers Oko and it covers Nissa. Do I want Essence Capture in this matchup? Does that one counter enough? I feel like it might not. What do we think on that? Is this the trim? That's probably the trim, actually, huh? I don't think this is a Beast or Ceratops matchup. Were they playing 5 mana Nissa when they made 3? Well, 5 mana Nissa and 3 mana Nissa go well together, right? Because they make 6/6s every turn. They're kind of like a power couple. They make a 6/6 and they go up to do it. It's like plus this, make a 6/6. The person who maintained Stream Decker said that they were doing some updates today, so maybe their update is foobarring some things at the moment. Beast is good against Oko and Nissa, kinda. Like, Oko and Nissa make a bunch of 3/3s, so, like, is the Beast really getting through that a pile of 3/3s is the question. There's DeFreaky is the Stream Decker, dude. They are the one in charge. How are the games today? Good. We've had some duds, but we also had some great ones. I have two decks that I'm very confident in tagging as favorites for the day, so that's nice. Goat Napped, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. I could have been greedy and kept that Sabotage. I think it's conservative to bottom it since I already have both of these. Just want to try and hit my land drop so I don't stumble and die this game. Silent Jeff. Oh, Luca. Where are faves for the day so far? Sultai Oko and green red growth has both been great. Huh. Just gonna gust this one, I think. Black Red Knights was reasonable. I tagged Black Red Knights as a favorite last time, so a lot of the time I try not to tag the same decks as favorites multiple days in a row. What's my favorite grocery store? I'm in the business, but I'm curious. Hy-Vee or Meijer? Are the usual grocery stores that I go to. This stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by either of those places, but Hy-Vee and Meijer, if you're out there, it certainly could be. Boop. That was not the land I wanted for Christmas. Hy-Vee's a little bit on the expensive side, but they also do free delivery if you have order $100 or more worth of groceries, which is like kind of busted. Why do we have so many ugly cards? Contrary to popular belief, I don't auto-foil everything every set. A lot of times people donate or cheer for me to buy specific foils. Whew. Let's get that one out of there. Goodbye, Felicia. I have a Veil of Summer here. Okay, they can have a counterspell of their own. They can have like an Aether Gust of their own. I think I'm gonna decline this. If they're out of payoffs, we could maybe be okay because we get to like Wolfpack. Yeah, we've had a good bit of disruption this game. We stumbled on lands, right? But actually, with another Nightpack on top, I'm just gonna take this hit, and we'll end step this, and then it starts pumping out 4/4s, right? That sounds like pretty reasonable. Or do they have like a murder here? They are Sultai. They might have like murder here. That's pretty big. Alright, I think at this point, we're trying to trade next turn and hoping they're out of gas. Yeah, modal Hero Fall is real good. Hero's Downfall. Hero Fall was the Hex card. Hero's Downfall. I don't think I can take another hit here. That'll do, pig. I'll take game 3 on the play. let's try this. They have questing beasts and cavaliers. Let's put these essence captures back in. Maybe I'm supposed to trim Preserver there. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to trim the 3-drop creature, actually. Because dumping mana into that doesn't seem super appealing. Remember the Dongler. Remember, yeah, Hero Fall was like, what's it called? Legion's End on crack. Were we far enough behind to have risked for an untapped land to give us double Borrower? I mean, double Borrower doesn't do anything, Rogue. Borrower can't block non-flying creatures, which is actually a really good balancing mechanic for it. So it doesn't really, it very, very rarely impacts the board twice. Between Gust and Murder, there's a line for Veil here. So, Autumn's, Veil of Summer does not stop them. Veil of Summer does not stop them from gusting one of our spells in the stack. No, your stream title is just very outdated, Nitro. Hand's pretty good on the play. Most of our hands are good on the play. Yeah, Aether Gust doesn't counter. It puts it on top, and it doesn't give hexproof on the stack. It only gives hexproof to your stuff in play. So feels like, speaking of Veil, feels like they have a Veil here. Yeah, Gust works on uncounterable things for that reason. Crunch. Give him the bone knife. Yeah. Well, they didn't have a 2-mana play last turn. Do they have a 2-mana play this turn? Let's not end my Legion, shall we? No, creatures do not have protection while on the stack. I would love another counterspell. Thank you for asking. That's an untapped land. Fabled Passage is so good. This land has played out much better than I was expecting it to. Like, I was expecting it to be good. It's been great. Thanks for the 1.5 years of support there, Fancy Penguin. Welcome back. Hope you're having an excellent Monday wherever you are. Huh? This feels like a murder, right? How much to fine-tune a deck in Modern? If you want me to build a deck from scratch, Modern build-around submissions are 50. Otherwise, if you're just submitting a deck, I generally always look at submissions. So I feel like this is a murder here, and I'm kind of okay with them murdering this. Because, like, if they murder this, they go to 13, they go to 9, and then we can probably tempo them out of the game from there. Like, it seems like a fine exchange for me. Thunk. Like, if they play a creature next turn, the game is just over. If they have another removal spell for this, we could be in a little bit of trouble, potentially. I think if they just pass here, I'm gonna jam Sailor and draw a card. Because they're so one of the things you want to consider is when you're going to bluff something in Magic, you have to ask yourself the question, can my opponent afford to not call my bluff? And in an instance like this, it feels to me like my opponent is priced into trying to kill my thing here because they're just so incredibly far behind. I feel like even if I bluff here, I like bluffing better in person online, or versus online. Against a good player, it's exactly the same. Hey, what's going on, Minus Kern? Yeah, we're going to be running long almost every day this week. Oh, yeah, that's a good call. I should opt in response because it's giving me a land anyways. Another Cutthroat, you say? I think I just want counterspells at this point. Yes, yeah, people are correct. I should opt in response there because they played Trophy. Your summaries are good ones. Play something crappy that I can Brazen Borrower. It does. This is definitely the appeal to playing a deck like this. Like, big greedy decks like my opponents that are playing a bunch of expensive crap tend to be real bad against what we're doing. They just on full control mode to bluff. It feels like they just hit every stop, like they're on full control mode to bluff. If they take this hit here, they're just bluffing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. They might still have Veil. That's not true. Having Veil doesn't cause them to stop on my upkeep. That's how you can tell that difference. So, like, holding full control mode doesn't even bluff Veil if your opponent's being especially attentive and, like, understands the differences between these things. So, this notably does not give this hexproof because it wasn't in play. So, pick your shit up. Bye, Felicia. So they had Veil, but they were also playing on full control mode. What's the deck of the day so far? Sultai Oko and Gruul Seasons was good. Gruul Growth. Sure. In. Need some green lands. We're on the draw. We've got a couple ops. We've got a Surveil here. The only reason to opt in response to a Thought Erasure is if opt is trying to find a land and you think they might take your opt with the Thought Erasure. And our ops are looking for lands, but I have 2 of them, so there's no reason to be aggressive with it. Otherwise, showing your opponent more spells in your hand just bleeds info. So again, it's not never opt in response to Thought Erasure, but it's A lot of the time it's incorrect too. This is the part where they play 3 mana Teferi and we just like right click concede. Hey, we just hit Diamond 2, right? Or Plat 2, or Plat 1. I'm pretty sure we just hit a rank floor, right? Can anybody confirm we just hit a rank floor? I'm pretty sure we did. Alright, excellent. Have a freebie. Ain't nobody got the time or the desire to play against that. Yep. So, normally, the bot always counts punts. That's what it does by default. An MTG bot must have crashed or something because it lost all of our channel-specific stuff today, Fancy Penguin. So all of our commands, all of our plugs, all of our quotes are all gone right now. I'm gonna bottom that. I'd really like to try and find the untapped lands here. I don't think that the quotes are just gone. Hopefully, the creator of the bot's looking into it for us. I'm gonna grab my fourth guaranteed land here. Yeah, so when you're a Twitch streamer, you can have your Twitch rep sub a bot to your channel for free, so that way they can plug your emotes. So, Gabby, it used one of Jim Davis's emotes earlier with it too. It must cycle through some of them. So, like, that's why the bot has my emotes. If you look at sub to the channel, the creator of that bot doesn't pay to have it sub to me. Twitch just sets that up on their back end. Nope. I think this matchup is supposed to be hard for us. I think the Field of the Dead decks are part of what pushed this out last season, because, like, part of the problem here is that, like, they just get to make land drops, and I can't beat them just, like, making land drops and making zombies with their land drops at this point. Yeah, you can't counter the land is exactly correct. Yeah. Like this makes 4/4s, right? 4 powers worth of stuff. Yeah, questing beast post board might help, maybe. Not really holding my breath. This is definitely a matchup where our lack of disdainful strokes is going to bite us a little bit. They also play a bunch of this card, and this is why I mentioned, like, it's tough to evaluate these decks, right? Because, like, the first 2 matches with this deck looked really good where we were beating up random people playing kind of random things, right? But now this is, I just conceded to Esper because I didn't feel like playing against it. Now here's another, like, stock good deck from last season, basically, with some small changes for how the format's different now, and we're having a really hard time all of a sudden. There's going to be the decks that you win with in the first couple weeks of a format by no means are going to remain competitive through the life cycle of that format. I just feel like I'm helpless and can't win at this point. Oh, I can't even play spells on their turn? Yeah, that's... Oh... I passed because we were talking about feeling helpless, and while we were feeling helpless, I clicked through, thinking about what Teferi was doing. I guess I board into Ceratops, our sideboard, like, outside of, like, 2 questing beasts, and a Negate, like, our sideboard doesn't even really have tools for this either. Yeah, not only is Teferi a hard counter to Simic Flash, but decks that get on the board quickly are hard counter to Simic Flash. Decks that go way over the top while also having removal spells are hard counter to Simic Flash. Like, this style of deck is like everything I love playing in Magic, but like against the decks that are actually good in this format, it tends to be really mediocre. And maybe just YOLOing 4 questing beast in the sideboard is correct. If we lose this one, we're gonna play 1 more after it, and I'm gonna put 4 questing beast in the sideboard. I feel like questing beast is an angry card that's very good against like the things that are beating this up. So maybe that's the answer. Questing beast should probably be in every green deck, yeah. I don't know if this deck wants it in the main, but I definitely feel like it's a card. Adding Questing Beast to the sideboard of this deck is a great example of saying, how does this deck lose? And this card helps solve that problem in a very direct manner. Yeah, correct that, bad control player. Once you get that first creature down, they then spend their mana answering the rest of your cards, and that first creature or 2 just kills them while they're trying to, like, keep the rest of your stuff in check. You put Oko. What problem does Oko solve? I don't know that I see Oko solving a problem. No, I don't think cards being a must-include in particular colors is a failure of design. I think card games in general are always going to have best decks, and I think in small formats that only have 5 sets in them, there's always going to be some cards that are better than others. It's just how these games work. Yeah, you should always wait to draw before you Once Upon a Time. No, we're not missing something, Marty. They're just, like, clicking ASAP. It doesn't matter, Gerard. That's one of those actually things that, like, you are technically correct, which one could argue is the best kind of correct. You got it. And again, like, my hand's great here. Against any deck that wasn't about to just, like, make a bunch of free 2/2s, my hand would be stellar. But against my opponent's deck that's about to make a bunch of 2/2s that I can't counter, my hand basically is useless, right? Like, they're 2 lands away from pumping out an endless supply of stuff. You're about to get Veil Summered? Yep. And even Questing Beast doesn't, even Questing Beast doesn't really help against Golos, right? Alright, I want to put a bunch of QBs in the board, but I'll give it one more try, but I'm kind of off of this one. Feel like I'm remembering why I didn't work on this deck last season, even though I really like this style of deck. Remembering why every time we play against this deck, we're like, haha, yeah, it's blue-green flash. Yeah, still up by Fate's probably bad. Probably could cut that. Yeah, blue-black pirates have removal spells in it at least. Maybe we'll find someone else playing a cute bad deck, and our cute bad deck can beat theirs. The ladder did reset. We finished in the top 1200. This hand is too slow. Like, not only is it missing colors, but it's also too slow. Yeah, the blue-green deck is a deck I describe frequently as emotionally taxing. It's a deck where even when it's bad against you, it feels bad to play against. Does anybody know when the next MCQ weekend is that I qualified for? I'm gonna hold on to that. This is probably a 4th land, famous last words. So we'll draw this next turn and then well once before we play it. Oh god, are we about to play a mirror? Alright, well this is about to be a shit show. We did play Sultai Flash. It was also unimpressive, and it was also unimpressive, clunky, and bad. This is our 3rd Flash deck of the season, and none of them have been particularly good. It's a pretty good draw. Let's go thing here. Yeah, I don't know if this mirror is necessarily terrible. Being on the draw is definitely not stellar in it, though. I did request a bad deck to play our bad deck against, though, so this, like, technically obliges that request, right? Are we playing the Who Blinks first game? Not really. Our hand's, like, pretty okay at the moment. So much mill and flash so far. I mean, if playing against terrible decks isn't fun for you, what's your expectation? Trust me when I say if you start to win more, you will play against a lot less mill and flash. Brazen Borrower here. Main deck Mystical Dispute. Okay. Speaking of Brazen Borrower. Kick it. Don't be afraid to play your flashy cards at sorcery speed. It's my #1 piece of advice for the Flash Mirror. They have enough mana to jam a wolf down our throat and counter our counter. That's fine. Would love to sabotage your next creature. Yeah. I think I'm in for an opt. Opt makes this bigger on their turn and still lets me Frilled Mystic. So that seems pretty reasonable. What's going on, Ring Tingy? Yeah, we're gonna do one more deck after this one. We've got this will probably be the last match with this one. And close on some blue-white control. Okie-doke. Yeah, not only do we get to bounce Realm Cloak Giant with, not only do we get to bounce Realm Cloak Giant with Teferi, but we've got a couple of time wipes for Realm Cloak Giant too. So you like, play your sweeper, play your giant, play your sweeper, pick your giant back up. Essence Capture seems pretty critical in this matchup. Once Upon a Time, because it's probably a little bit slow and expensive. Wildborn Preserver seems like something I don't want to dump mana into most of the time. Maybe Negate's actually not good enough. A lot of their stuff are creatures that we care about. What do we think of this sideboard plan? Just like Veils and Gust in. Seems fine. Can Blue-White even get to garbage time without 5 mana Teferi? We have some 6 mana Ugins. He's not quite 5 mana Teferi, but he does generate sustained card advantage in a very similar manner. Next is the real Christmas present. The real Christmas present from rotation was Nexus going away. Man, that was the real present the entire time. Definitely want to hit land drops in the mirror. The sand is lit, fam. I'm going to bottom the extra wolf for now. They've not announced a ban list for Historic. I would assume nothing's going to be banned from the start. Yeah, so the best of one play queue you can join with Historic decks. You join the best of one queue with the Historic deck. It'll try and match you against someone else trying for Historic. I wonder how much that's actually firing, though. Of course, just a victim. We aim to please. Nexus is banned in Historic best of one. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? So, the reason why I played Fabled Passage here is because this way, if I draw Essence Capture or Sinister Sabotage, I can cast it on 3. We'll play Untapped Forest next turn, and then this is untapped because it'll be our 4th land the turn after that, which is great. They have Mystical Disputes in their sideboard. This card's real good. Seems great in the mirror. Seems great in general, good in the mirror. Yeet! Garouche, thanks for the 4 months. Red Rover, let Cutthroat come over. Veil notably does not do anything against Aether Gust. This is not countering my spell. It is attempting to place it on top of my deck. The spell costs 2 less to cast if an opponent controls a green permanent Death Touch. When it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Sure. That's bold. They have another Gust. Unless they have another Gust, we're about to toast them. That's super unfortunate. Are we dead now? I think we're dead. Veil doesn't do anything against Gust. I'm just drawing a card, though. I mean, this card seems great in this mirror match. Double bottom scry. Castle's busted. I'm not flashing in because they know I have this card. That could very easily be bait. Make Gusted for the 3rd time. Yikes. I generally do not stream on the weekends, Boosty. This past weekend was an exception because it was pre-release weekend, so there were no major events on. But generally speaking, my stream schedule is Monday through Friday, about 7 a.m. Central till about 2 to 3 p.m. Central. It's currently 4:30 p.m. Central for reference, running late this week because we're still on set release hype. Embercleave on Rotting Regisaur is a delectable feeling. It is a good one. This hand's okay. Obviously needs some more lands, but the spell base is good. Dub's Cutthroat to start is appealing. Passage is a green source. Hey, Azandra, thanks for the 8 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having an excellent Monday wherever you are. It's a good pickup. Maybe I'm just supposed to... Yeah, it might be right to just do this on my turn, though, honestly. Just, like, not run into an essence capture here. Might just, like, both play 2-drops here. Looking for a land. Deal. Right, you don't have a land? Oh. Oh, anybody else smell blood? Smells like blood to me. I have to worry about my opponent tapping out in response. They do anything at my end step here, we're just going to Nightpack while they're tapped down. This card should end the game on the spot, basically. Look at the fur bristle in this AA. It's so good. So good. So good. So my opponent is up to 7 cards in hand here. So there's no real reason for me to make a move, because I'm ahead, I'm hitting land drops. If they draw and miss a land drop again this turn, they have to move to hand size, which accrues me virtual card advantage. So, like, yeah, my turn, go ahead and discard. As long as they're discarding to hand size here, there's no reason for me to, oh yeah, now there's really no reason. Because if they just pass again, we get to just, like, activate Castle. Maybe I should be attacking them here. Very possible. I'm gonna shuffle. I'm gonna fetch before I start activating Castle, because if I shuffle bad or scry bad cards at the bottom of my deck, I'd prefer not to redraw them. Yeah, I should be attacking. Yeah, because if they were to blink to block this, I could have played the Nightpack out, so that's fine. And, like, their best plays here are green cards, so if they make one of their better plays, I just Aether Gust them. And, like, even if they have a counterspell like that, now I get to do this. And, like, we'll put Nightpack back on top of my deck. 6 land sounds like a pretty sweet spot to be in here with these 4s and these 2s in my deck. I would love to put this on top of my deck so I can redraw my best card. We came back to my turn. That was their end step, Waffle. Oh, once upon a time drew a card. Yeah. Yeah, well, that was their end step. And then once upon a time pick something up. So we're in paper, we play with our hand face up. Yeah, probably. Like, this is what I got. Are we done here? You let me know. You let me know if this works for you. Concede to the cards you know I was casting. Alright, so overall we ended up winning more than we lost there, but like I said, one of those was a mirror, the other 2 were against kind of middling, greedy decks. The 2 decks we played against that had 3 mana Teferi in them, one of them I didn't bother playing because we were going to get hosed. And the other one we played it out and it just like ended up running us down. I feel like this deck is just like, it's just missing something. I don't know what that thing is. Maybe it's like I don't even know if it's like efficient removal, right? Because like we've tried Sultai and Blue-Red and even those feel kind of middling overall, so this is an archetype that I've just not been super impressed with when we've played against it, and then playing with it here today, it still felt kind of mediocre. All right, we are going to wrap up with a bit of a brew for the last one today. We've got some blue-white control up next. Before we dive on into this one, we're going to take a quick ad break here. So thanks for hanging out today.